it. How exciting. My name is Inge Mehus and I'll be your moderator here in our pitch garden. And this session is dedicated to ocean and water. And we're going to discover 5 super innovative solutions today. We got lots to cover, but only 35 minutes. So it's really important we're keeping our time. And we'll start with a quick intro to the theme, and that's going to be Mark Sabas from Ship2B Adventure. Take it away, Mark.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark from Ship2B Ventures. We are an impact venture capital fund based out of Barcelona, but investing across Europe. And we look at 3 main target areas. One of them is health, the other one is education, the third one is climate, and inside climate, we look as well for natural resource efficiencies, etc. So I'm pleased to be here today and to look at the amazing startups.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mark. So in a moment, we're going to have these fantastic pitchers going to talk in 3 minutes. But first, we're also going to introduce the jury members. So I'm going to invite Tove Rodelius to go first and tell us a little bit about yourself in 30 seconds.
Fantastic. Hi, everyone. My name is Tove, and I'm a senior investment manager at Norsken VC. We're a Sweden-based impact fund, but investing in European startups. And we typically invest around seed to Series A stage, with tickets ranging from €500,000 to €3 million, and with ability to make follow-on investments. And we invest across all 17 sustainable development goals, where, of course, water and life underwater are some of the key SDGs to tackle. So I'm very excited to be here today to listen to these fantastic pitches.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tove. And next on our panel is Alberto Gundra.
Hi, everybody. We at Radius invest in the change we want to see in the world, and we look for diverse teams that are solving big world problems with deep tech solutions, and we're based out of Boston. Our ticket size ranges from 300 to 600,000, and we have just made 3 investments, so we're actively investing. Thank you.
Thank you, Gilberto. And over to Jim Toddy.
Hi, thanks very much. I'm Jim Totty from Viridis Capital. I've been investing venture capital in water technologies since 2002. I guess all the areas we look at around SDG 6 now. But across that time, I've invested in industrial wastewater treatment tech, utility wastewater, drinking water, and water efficiency.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jim. And finally, back to Mark Sabas.
Hi, Jan. So yeah, just to expand on Ship2B Ventures, we invest usually at seed and pre-seed stages. We do tickets from as little as 250K to up to 1 million, and the way that we add value is particularly coming from the impact world. We used to be a foundation similar to Norsken, so we used to be a foundation, and we have a lot of knowledge around how to measure impact, how to get the right KPIs, and then how to take the right decisions based on what those KPIs tell you, so that you make the impact that you've chosen to achieve.
Fantastic. All right, that is our fantastic jury. Now let's dig into the juicy part and start with our first pitch. So the first presenter today is Dan Greck. He's the founder and CEO of Global Otech. Over to you, Dan.
Thank you very much. Yes, my name is Dan Greck. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Otech, a startup here just outside of London in the United Kingdom. I'm just waiting for my slides. Great. So tropical islands are reliant on diesel imports for their electricity. They must either purchase fossil fuels indefinitely at an ever-increasing cost, or they must find a way to generate electricity domestically. There's a huge opportunity for whoever can do this most economically, but with the lowest environmental impact. We can solve this using ocean thermal energy conversion. On average, an island nation has 28 times more blue space than it has green. Their land is under stress, but their oceans are an untapped battery of solar heat energy. We have designed a cost-effective way to harness this and have a plan to roll out commercial Otech systems. We use a cycle which exploits the temperature difference between warm surface seawater and cold deep water to generate megawatts of baseload power with a similar availability to nuclear and geothermal. Our Otech barge, pictured, houses this cycle. Being offshore, it reduces the length of a cold water pipe that an on-land facility requires by 80%. And this barge is 10 times smaller than what solar PV would use for the same capacity. It solves the challenges that wind and solar face in these markets. There's 900 gigawatts of practical resource worldwide. We're starting with island nations where energy costs are the highest, and we've just had an MOU unanimously approved by 17 governments for a public-private partnership to facilitate these projects. The islands have ambitious NDCs to achieve 50 or even 100% renewable energy, and they simply can't do it with today's technology. We started Global Otech in 2017 to accelerate the development of this technology. Our first investor is a technical director of the world's only grid-connected Otech plant, and we've raised €500,000 to date. We've costed our first and nth-of-a-kind systems, which save up to a third on energy costs compared to the incumbent diesel fuels in these markets. This isn't a hard science. We're combining breakthroughs at Otech demonstration sites with proven offshore technology to drive the levelized cost of energy down. The next part of our story takes us to Sao Tome and Principe off the west coast of Africa, home to the highest concentration of endemic species. The idea that they will knock down their rainforests and jungles to lay solar panels is unfathomable. We're raising a £300,000 pre-seed into our holding company to fund the project development that has to go into preparing our first 10 megawatts. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Dan. That was a fantastic presentation, very inspiring. And that makes me also very excited to introduce Khaled Al-Mazayin, who is the CEO of Innovaya. He's also going to give us a fantastic presentation. Khaled, the floor is yours whenever the slides comes up.
Thank you very much. So I'm just checking if I can move my slides. I don't know if they are moving or not. No, not really.
No, I think we're also just waiting for tech to also just help with the slide coming up. So it will happen in a moment, I am sure.
So I think it's working now. It's okay, it's working, yeah?
Perfect.
So before we get into the pitch, I would like to ask you if you know why I have put these 3 cups of water out there. The reason why is if you select only one of these cups, you have 1/3 of a chance to drink contaminated water. That represents 2 billion people who do not have access to drinking water. Unfortunately, this number is going to get worse in the near future. If we want to make any progress on all the major global challenges, we have to start with water. So I'm Khaled Al-Mazayin, I'm the co-founder of Innovaya, and with my team we are committed to build a new paradigm of the world of water with disruptive technologies. Our mission is to preserve the world's most valuable resource by making water treatment clean, cheap, and predictable. Why? Because we are facing an increasing demand. 80% of the wastewater is already thrown away into the nature, directly into the nature. And if we want to change these tragic stats, we have to start by changing our centralized model of water treatment, which is dirty, inefficient, and expensive. So here are the basics of the water treatment. Usually, in order to treat any fluid, you need chemicals, consumables, and on-site maintenance that leads to a usage failure if it doesn't done properly. Our value proposition, technologies that don't need any of those. We developed the UNIO. It's a unique proprietary system that combines hardware, software, and sensor technology to treat water at the source. There are 3 main reasons why this technology is transformative. First, it's highly effective. It's managed remotely, allowing us to change system parameters real-time as different pollutants or chemicals enter the water source. This results in the constant treated water quality. Second, it's cleaner. It uses no chemicals, no consumables for 10 years, and produces minimal wastewater. Third, it's cheaper. We can deliver access to drinking water for 70 cents per cubic meter. These are part of the reasons why the technology has been selected by the Solar Impulse Foundation as one of the 1,000 efficient solutions to save the planet. Our technology addresses 3 different markets: wastewater management, water access, and industrial effluents, which represents $265 billion, a total addressable market. Our business model, we are really taking an IP-driven approach to our business. Currently, we sell our product to our customers, NGOs, municipalities, industries, with an ongoing monitoring monthly fee. The ultimate direction we want to go is to provide access to our technology through JVs or co-development. For instance, we have an agreement with the SOR group to co-develop our solutions. In order to go further, we are seeking for partners, donors, and impact investors. Innovia strongly believes the UNIO is going to transform the lives of many people. We are ready to introduce this innovation to the world. Would you like to be part of it? Thank you.
Wow, Khaled, beautiful. Yeah, clean drinking water should definitely be a right for everybody. Thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. And now I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker, which is João Rita, which is a founding partner and CEO of ChangeNOW. João, I'm going to give the floor to you. You are muted, just so you know.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
And in a moment, your slide will also join you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is João Rito. I'm one of the founding partners of ChangeNOW, which is a new aquaculture startup from Portugal. So how can I change the slides? Okay, thank you. So society has this problem. Are we able to sustainably feed the growing world population and at the same time achieve the excellence demanded by consumers in different topics like biosecurity, diversification, transparency, and sustainability? Well, according to the FAO, by 2030, fish production needs to be increased in 110 million tons, which has a value of about 1.1 trillion euros. ChangeNOW wants to produce Corvina, which is a high-quality white fish with a very good nutritious profile, a low FCR, and a good public acceptance. And we want to be the first company in the world producing this fish in a recirculating aquaculture system that allows us to promote the animal welfare and avoid diseases and parasites without using any antibiotics or other chemicals. So we will not pollute your food, neither the environment. We will grow 1,000 tons of meager in this developed system for our company. And our model will be growing Corvina until 2.5 kilos, and then to transform this fish into different products that are going to be certified, traceable, and identified. This is a production cost that ranges from 3 to 5 euros per kilo, but the market nowadays for the whole fish ranges between 8 to 14 euros per kilo. Our customers are distributors, restaurants, and seafood retailers, firstly in Iberian Peninsula, and secondly in the European, and secondly we want to expand to the European market. So we're betting in sustainability and circular economy by using the sludge and the effluent nutrients to produce lower trophic level organisms, and we will also use the processing trimmings for fish oil and fish meal production. Also, all the energy is going to be get by photovoltaic panels, so we will produce more energy than the energy that we use. The competitors are fisheries and offshore farmers, but we have an advantage over them, which is to provide biosecurity, traceability, quality, and environmental protection in this fish that can be your food. This is our team. We can move on to the next slide. As a traction, I would like to highlight these are some of the milestones achieved in the last years. But I want to highlight the fact that we were recognized by the PwC as a Blue Revelation Diploma. As an investment, we were looking for 20 million euros for the next upscale. And then we will replicate this unit in several locations around the world. Thank you so much. These are some images of our future system, but I ran out of time already.
That's all right. We're going to definitely have some more time after this as well. We can explore a little bit. We have a Q&A and then, of course, the breakout rooms. Wow, thank you so much for this presentation.
Thank you.
And now we're going to hand over to Ian Dormal. He's the CEO and EVP of Ecospheres. Ian, I'm going to hand it over to you, and you can unmute yourself, and whenever the slide comes up, you can start your pitch.
All right, thank you. Hi, my name is Ian Dormal, co-founder and executive vice president of Ecospheres, and we build innovation that cleans the world. Let's see here. The clicker is not working.
You can also say next, and then the tech team can help you.
Okay, I gotta put in a password. 1 second.
Ian, if you want, you can just say next, and then the tech crew can do it for you automatically.
Thank you. So, go ahead and go to the next one. So company overview, we are cleaning persistent toxins from the environment, from our oceans, from our rivers and waterways. You know, current methods are inadequate, so we're still doing the same thing, landfilling and incineration. And we have a distinct solution developed by NASA, and we're the exclusive licensee of this patent. Next slide. So major problem, polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, were used by every industry in the world. It's one of the most persistent and widespread contaminants, and 94% of America's waterways have these disease-causing contaminants, as well as across the world. Next slide. As I mentioned, the UN, the United Nations, were part of that UN SDG PCB Elimination Network group, and it highlights how pervasive this problem really is across the world. Next slide. So this is a large market. Really, over $100 billion are spent environmental remediation globally. We're really tackling that $6 billion market in the U.S., and that's our niche market that we've unlocked already. Next slide. As I mentioned, current limitations are incineration and transport to landfill, cost prohibitive, environmentally destructive, and disruptive to the community. Next slide. This is just a highlight of a well-known project, Hudson River. Over $2 billion was spent by GE to truck 4 million tons of contaminated sediment to a landfill, as well as incinerators. Very costly and creates a lot of GHGs. Next slide. So we are a NASA really born company. We have the exclusive license to this technology, and we also have co-founders that are from NASA. Next slide. Regardless of the contamination in the soil or sediment, we can first extract those toxins, and then it all leads to destruction with our EcoCube. Next slide. So here's Ecospheres' difference. Imagine 20,000 trucks. We can take just the toxins out of that 20,000 trucks, send it for elimination, and that natural resource can be recovered and reused for beneficial reuse. Next slide. We have traction with names that matter. In the last 3 years, over $1 million of trailing revenue. We have opened Fortune 100 companies, utilities, state, federal, DoD programs. Customer lifetime value is over $100 million with large full-scale contracts. Next slide. This is our industry-proven business model. It's a proven one success. Next slide. Next slide. Here's our founding team, and we are raising $5 million of Series A this time. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ian. I know these 3 minutes, they really pass really, really fast, but not worry, we're still going to have some more time. And we're now going to end with Adam Root. He's the CEO of Matter, and he's going to give us the final pitch. Adam, over to you.
Thank you so much. Hopefully you can see me and hear me. Just waiting for the slides to go through. Okay, cool. All right, so let's see if this is going. There are currently 5.25 trillion particles of microplastic in our oceans today. That's more pieces of plastic than there are stars in our galaxy. We're seeing microplastic poisoning the creatures that fundamentally support life on Earth. Plankton and other animals in the sea produce 80% of the world's oxygen. They also sequester more carbon than all the plants and trees combined on Earth. Hello and welcome. My name is Adam Root, and I'm the founder of Matter. Matter is a technology company dedicated into solving this problem through pioneering solutions that scale. In 2020, through the global pandemic, researchers shine new light into the true scale of the issue. This year, we've found microplastic in the deepest of our ocean trenches and also the top of Everest. If it was business as usual, by 2040, we're projecting to see 1.8 million tons of microplastic enter the natural environment per year. And at this point, we've passed the point of no return for the total collapse of our ecosystems that sustain life on Earth. Me and myself of our team believe in a different future. We believe that the problem can be solved. And we've outlined 3 multi-billion-dollar industries which we are disrupting. That includes white goods, textiles manufacturing, and wastewater treatment plants. These industries combined release 87% of all microplastics. With our existing investors, we've got combined assets of over $43 billion. We're rolling out technologies that can change the way that we treat our resources and lead us towards circularity. These markets are multi-billion-dollar industries, and our first one we're really disrupting at the minute is in washing machines. We have tractions with over 88% of the UK washing machine market. So our support has been really fantastic for the people that have been supporting us, people like Wessex Water, the YTL company, Catapult Ocean, a few names that people may have seen before. These guys have been able to enable us to grow and scale. We also believe that this plastic can be a utilised resource. So here I have a little piece that's come out of our lab, which is we're actually turning microplastic into something. Sorry, there we go. Into something valuable. So this is actually made of microfibers, and we've been turning the circularity back of the material that we've been capturing. For us, the time of solution is now. We believe that we must act. Legislation is changing, the laws are changing, and the companies understand this is a challenge. So we're fundraising to scale our solution that we have as a patented technology, how we take that into a large scale industrial work and beyond. Thank you for your time.
Wow, Adam, thank you so much for this beautiful presentation. Pollution, animal welfare, clean drinking water, so much impressive, innovative solution being presented right here. And like Adam's saying, we need to act now. And we have about 10 minutes now for the jury to dig a little bit deeper. What else would you like to know? So I'm going to hand it off to the jury and see who has a question first. Who would like to go? Jim.
Sorry.
Go for it, Jim.
I've got one for Khaled. It's 2 questions actually. Is your technology electrolysis for removing chemicals from water, and are you raising capital? Is that why you're pitching at the moment?
Hello, thank you very much for your answer. No, it's we are based on membrane filtration for the technology. So our process, the process that we have developed, is using declocking of the membranes without any chemicals. So that's the innovation, and that's what we have patented. That's why we are saying that it's without any chemicals. Mm-hmm. And yes, we are raising €3 million now.
Okay, thank you.
We have already made a seed round last year of €950,000.
Wonderful, thank you, Jim. Anybody else?
I had a similar question for Matter, which is about what exactly is the technology and how you identify these microplastics.
Sure. I didn't see where that came from, but
it's Mark from Ship2E Ventures.
Oh, hey, Mark. I see you now. Yes. What can I say? So we've been flying stealth for a long time, and we're just about to break cover, which is super exciting. But so basically, what I can tell you about our technology is it does capture high efficiency. We've had our technology externally validated by the University of Glasgow. So we have, if I talk about the domestic market, we believe will be the highest efficiency on the market when we release our product. How do we identify microplastics? So that's quite exciting. There are 2 major sources that we've been really working on at the minute. So the 2 largest problems, are microfibers from clothing, which represent 35% of that microplastic breakdown, and the second largest is from car tires, which is at 28%. So we're working in the environments where we know that these are high concentrations. We basically assess the pipeline from If you look at it from the final point of in water and air, and then go all the way back up the pipe, you can you look at most developed nations, it's wastewater treatment plants, and then it will go into the drainage network, and then you'll get to the either the appliance that's producing it or the textiles or the factory. It's at such high volumes at those points, it's very easy to tell what is microplastic and what's not. We've done a microplastic assessment of I can't mention their name, but they're one of the largest logistics company in Europe, and we did an assessment of what they're doing. And when we went to their site, there was so much microplastic, you could literally, their drains were full. So we were doing assessment. We come do a chemical breakdown, looking at what's in it and how it is. And I can get into lots of technical detail, but effectively, it's actually quite simple to see. You'd be surprised. We have to do is look, or know how to look, I suppose, is the correct thing. Mark, does that kind of answer a little bit of your question, I suppose? Happy to fulfill a little bit more detail.
A little bit. I'm sure we can take it offline.
Yeah, sure. No worries. Thank you.
Absolutely. There would definitely be some time in a moment to dig deeper. So thank you very much for the question, Mark. Anybody else who have a question? Yes, Gilberto, go.
Yes, I have a question for Dan at Global Otech. Have you tested what your barges will look like during tropical storms? And how does that, knowing that a lot of these island countries are affected by tropical storms, if they're relying on your technology, how do you sort of account for that with the design? So.
Fantastic question, and almost always the first question I get is about how do these barges weather tropical storms, which are dominant in our market. The answer is that this round is really to validate that design. We have some concepts, and this money is going to allow us to put together a scale model in a university test tank in the southwest of the UK, University of Plymouth, working with their researchers through some more grant-funded projects. We're going to have our design for those storms, so basically hurricane level environments at a model scale in those test tanks. So, but that is obviously I think a big milestone for us to achieve, and that's why we're looking for a relatively modest round now of £300,000 before we can then go and raise the next.
Great, thank you.
Wonderful. Anybody else? Yes,
yeah,
Tove.
I had a question for EcoSpheres. Could you talk us through your business model a bit more? Do you license the technology, or owner, operator, or project work for your customers? And who is a typical customer?
Yeah, very good question. So we licensed the technology from NASA on an exclusive basis. We also have our own in-house IP. So everything starts with the treatability for lab scale. That's $0 to $100,000, then goes to a pilot demo on site, and then a full scale project. So today we're a revenue sharing model. So we revenue share with engineering consulting firms, environmental consulting firms. But in the future, we see that this will be a licensing play. We have the ability to sub-license, as well as we're already setting up joint venture partnerships. One particular is with Black & Veatch, major design build firm. That's a $4 billion company a year, as well as we also have a joint venture with a company that has presence in Hawaii and Guam. So we're setting joint ventures that will eventually lead to licensing plays.
Thank you.
Anybody else who has a burning question? Jim?
I think most of mine have already been asked, actually.
All right, no problem. I just thought that you were about to unmute yourself. No problem. Anybody else?
I'm curious, a question for Joao. It's about the hatcheries, and how exactly is this going to, what's the main differentiation point versus other hatcheries that call themselves sustainable or have some sort of sustainability certification?
Thank you so much for your question, Mark. The hatchery, we haven't developed it yet, but we are operating with a Portuguese research institute where they have the broodstock for our fish. And the difference is that the available broodstocks, the available hatcheries that produce meager corvina, this fish that we want to produce, are having very strong inbreeding problems that are actually deforming the fish and are not taking care of the animal welfare. This strain, this Atlantic strain that we have available for us from this institute, and which is exactly the ones that we are going to implement in our new hatchery that hopefully we'll be able to start constructing next year. They have, well, the results were analyzed and were compared to other research institutes, and the performance of these fish have been completely different regarding the diseases, resistance, parasite resistance, growth rates. So these fish, for some reason that actually nobody yet knows, have been much better prepared for domestication. And okay, these are the hatchery that we're going to implement with this original broodstock. Hopefully we'll be able to domesticate them even further. And then regarding the animal welfare, which is the most important for us, is basically maintain them in the best conditions possible in this kind of environment, which is super artificial, but at the same time we can control all the parameters that are ranging in their optimal range for these specific species. Well, we invite anyone who wants to visit our facilities, well, are very welcome to come by.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more quick question, if anybody has one.
I do have a quick one. Adam, you're coming out of stealth mode now. Are you doing a funding round?
Yes, yeah, we currently are in the process of gearing up for. So we've closed a successful seed round, and we're in the process of gearing up for Series A. There's an opportunity for someone to come on a little bit earlier, if it's the right investor who can help us out.
And how much are you looking to raise at seed and Series A?
So our Series A, we're looking around 3.5 million. And we're effectively looking to do ticket for the between 500,000 and 1 million to do basically an early into that Series A, so we can extend out our Series A as long as possible, would be best for us.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. That leaves us just at the end. I want to thank you all for coming, Changemaker, juror members, and all of you who tuned out. I hope you will all leave more inspired and hopeful for the future. And all of you are here. There will be a link in the chat where you can continue having more personal conversation and keep networking. On that note, I wish you all a fantastic day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.